This is the bread machine where we're going to make the bread. On the front it's got a dial and various buttons for different settings to make different types of bread. Open it up and inside we have the container where all of the ingredients go and the loaf is made within that. Inside here at the bottom, difficult to see, but there is a electric heating bar which cooks the mix. Inside the container you can see there is a paddle which turns round. That goes round when the bread's cooking and stirs the mix. That's all done electronically when the flour and the other ingredients are within the container and the bread is cooking. So what we'll do next is put all of the ingredients into this container, and then we'll put the container into the machine, put the lid down, press one or two buttons and it'll cook away. The first ingredient is yeast, which comes in a little packet like this. It's a brown powdery substance. This is the whole key to making bread. This is what makes a loaf the shape and size and texture that it is. And that goes in first. The yeast is now in the container, and the container's on some scales. The second ingredient is the flour, and we put in a measured amount of flour, 200 grams or 300 grams of flour. We're up to 550 grams now. Next ingredient, sugar. I'm going to put 2 teaspoonfuls of sugar in. That's 1. That's 2. So that's the sugar in. When the cooking starts, the sugar is going to mix with the yeast and the flour, and the sugar and the yeast between them produce gas in little, which make the little holes, and this is the thing which will make the whole thing rise. You can see that the level of the flour at the moment is only filling half of the container, whereas when the thing is cooked it will be higher than the top of the container, and that's because the sugar mixing with the yeast has created bubbles and expanded the whole amount of flour and dough. So we've now got the sugar in. When the cooking commences, the paddle that we saw will stir the mix. So we've got the sugar in. Next we need to put some salt in, and we put in 1.5 spoons of salt. 1 spoon. And 1/2 spoon. Finally, we put in 25 grams of olive oil. This helps the texture and the taste and helps preserve the bread for several days. Finally, we need 390 grams of water, which is there in the jug, and we just pour it in here. So those are all the ingredients, and we put those into the machine. Now when I start the machine, the paddle will start turning round in the bottom and stir all of the ingredients together, and then the heating element will warm the mix to the required temperature. The yeast and the sugar will react together and produce gas, which will flow through the mix of flour and water to make a loaf, and it will rise to the top and be up to that level by the time that the cooking is finished. So that's it set. So it'll take 5 hours to cook. So here we are, 5 hours later. It's a little bit dark out there. Oh. Let's have a look at the loaf. Oh, not quite as big as expected, but you can see that it's twice the size that it was before cooking. We'll get it out with the cloth. And there it is, lovely.
Here's Grandad with his newly baked loaf. He's just...
It's hot.
It's very hot, and he's just showing you what it's like as it comes out of the tin. Here it is coming out of the tin.
There it is.
All crisp and ready to eat. Scrummy.